silence. And kick-off moments away. Patricio Lustau blows his whistle and Peru get us underway here. Peru in their traditional white and red, going right to left. And Brazil in their unmistakable yellow and blue, going left to right. Touch for Gabriel Barbosa, who just eased off the ball there by Renato Tapia, who comes into this tournament after a brilliant season in Spain with Celta Vigo. Certainly going to be a test for that Peruvian 2 sitting in front of the back 4. We saw against Venezuela the way Neymar was just sitting off deep, drawing players towards him, give him any kind of space. And even on the day when he doesn't light up the game, he can create so many chances as he did against Venezuela. A goal and an assist for Neymar. And he'll be looking to add to that tally tonight. It's Peru on the attack early though, down the right-hand side. Work the ball back there to Carrillo. Settles for a throw. Also, one change from the team that won away to Ecuador in their final World Cup qualifier before this tournament. A really good result for this man, Ricardo Gareca, who, as I said, had seen his side fail to win in 9 games, a run that went all the way back to a friendly win over Brazil, actually in LA back in 2019. Really poor, disrupted 2020, a really poor start to World Cup qualification. And the Blanquiroja just hoping now that that win in Quito has turned the corner. They can have a positive Copa America once more before getting back down to business in World Cup qualification. Nicely worked back there to Luis Abram. Goes long, Fabinho heads it down. Gabriel Jesus, one of the players that keeps his place in the side. Very much playing off the right wing against Venezuela, finding space in the first half as well. You can see him again there, really hugging the touchline. It's Danilo who bursts forward. It was the fullback's burst into the penalty area that won Brazil the penalty that allowed Neymar to double their lead against Venezuela. Danilo keeps his place in the starting 11. He and Eder Militao. Here is Danilo. Goes back to Fabinho. One of those changes came in for Casemiro, who captained the team last time out. And here's Neymar. Neymar, closely watched there and not too happy with a little tap on his ankles. Probably gonna have to get used to that and a bit more. Zotun. There's Neymar again and again. Loses out, this time fairly. Well recovered by Danilo. On that little battle there between Neymar and Yoshimar Yotun. Thiago Silva goes for that long ball, looking for Gabriel Jesus. It was a ball that they managed to find a number of occasions against Venezuela, even with a packed defence that Venezuela came with. Still space in behind in those wide areas. Brazil seeing early possession here, plenty of the ball, as would be expected. Peru sticking to their task well, sticking a foot in, nicking possession, able to bring the ball forward here. Nicely done by Cueva, and it's worked out into space. Marcos Lopez not quite able to keep the ball in play. Here's Christian Cueva. Scored in Quito last week. 29 years of age now, well-travelled forward, now playing his football in Saudi Arabia. But when Christian Cueva has his mind set on things, when he's on form, he's excellent, excellent player. Question marks over his mentality maybe during his career, but as I say, when motivated, a real threat in South American football. And Peru will be hoping they get the best version of Christian Cueva in this tournament. Here's Marcos Lopez. Lopez, one of two players in this Peruvian 11 that play football in the United States. He's for San Jose Earthquakes. Goalkeeper Pedro Gallese playing at Orlando City. Pick the ball up then in midfield. It's a nice little disguised pass there into the feet. Nicely worked this by Peru. Cueva tries to dart around Fabinho, just eased out of the way. Brazil can win possession. Everton tries to find that run of Neymar. Just on a slightly different wavelength. Everton come into the side, but let's not forget that 2 years ago in this tournament, Everton was one of these stars. 3 goals in the 2019 edition. And himself that move to Benfica. Abraham rolls it across to his central defensive partner, Cristiano Ramos. So back to Ramos. Nice and patient from Peru. Already see the difference in ambition between how Peru have set up here and their comfort on the ball, and we saw from Venezuela, who were very much, after all the players that they had missing, were very much set up just to contain Brazil, to frustrate them. If they could maybe on the counter or from a set piece get forward, but otherwise offered very little. It allowed Brazil maybe to take their time and be frustrated on occasion at how long it took them to find the breakthrough, but at no stage look in any danger. Put a little bit of pressure on Eder Militao. Just goes back to his goalkeeper, Ederson. As they move forward towards halfway, Militao just tries to loft one forward. It's taken a knock and it's going to go out for a throw on this near side. Gabriel Jesus will just leave that for Danilo. Throws it into Gabriel Barbosa. Fabinho does well to ensure Brazil keep possession. And Danilo goes all the way back to Eder Militao. 10 minutes gone here in Rio de Janeiro, still goalless. And here's the first sight really of Everton. As always, looking to cut inside off that left. Still Everton, makes his way into the box and then looks to get into his right foot. Can't find a way past Christian Ramos. Instead, it's worked its way back to Neymar. Chance here for Fred maybe to take on the shot. Takes it and it's off target. Manchester United midfielder found himself in that little pocket of space. Hands up to apologise. But it really was asking to be hit. Just not like that. Well off target. Pedro Galese able to watch it all the way. Just the one goal in a Manchester United shirt last season for Fred. Christian Quẩy for a second there, thought he had got away from Fred. It's a little handball maybe, faintest of touches off Quäy's arm. Fortunate for Brazil, little space for Quäy, and that's a nice touch there by Neymar. Opened up space on the Brazil left. They come forward now, the cross comes in. Neymar, who's just arriving, but it's come to the back post, right away across, and it's a goal. Brazil lead, 11 minutes on the clock, and it's Alexandro with the goal. Peru couldn't clear the initial cross. That little touch from Neymar really set them on their way. And he follows his run and almost gets on the end of it here. It's headed up into the air, kept alive at the back post by Gabriel Jesus. And Alexandro, who's really far up the pitch, just goes to show the confidence and the attacking mindset that Brazil have. And the left back in the 6-yard box is on hand to turn home. It's an early goal here, and exactly what Peru didn't want to see. First really meaningful attack for Brazil, and we have our opening goal. Otherwise been a positive opening to this game for Peru. They'd really limited Brazil, made it difficult for them to pass through. Looked comfortable themselves on the ball. And now have a real mountain to climb. It's not the kind of team that you want to be going behind to and leaving spaces. Really the quality of this Brazilian side opposed to probably every other team in South America at the moment. That looking at a lot of teams and saying, how do you beat Brazil? Well, first and foremost, keeping them out. Maybe there's one weakness. It would be the fact that in front of Neymar, question marks over who would be the #1 choice up front. Gabriel Barbosa, Gabriel Jesus, Richarlison, all in the squad. We saw Paraguay take them to penalties 2 years ago. And you don't want to be saying at this very early stage in this tournament that that's the way to go about beating this Brazil team. But you'd have to look at current form, World Cup qualification, and think Brazil have the look, the swagger as well, the confidence that come with knowing that they are the best team on the continent. How will Peru act then? React to going behind. comfortable in possession at this area, but it's where things get a little bit more difficult trying to find the ball into the final third. On that occasion, looking for Lapadula. He's not going to reach that one. He's going to roll through. Well, Allison, who started in goal against Venezuela, was more or less a spectator. Man City's Edison comes in tonight, and in theory, when you looked at the opposition, you thought chances of Edison being the busier were high. So far, the Man City goalkeeper hasn't had a great deal to do. Only 15 minutes gone though. Brazil lead here, 1-0. Alexandro with the goal. Wonderful pass out from Edison. You see every week in a Manchester City shirt, finds Danilo. Danilo tries to find Neymar. This occasion he loses the ball. Very calmly done there by Carrillo. Tries to feed the ball forward into Lapadula. Fred just trying to shake off the challenge there. He's able to do so, giving himself a free kick. They'll look for that pass over the top of Marcos Lopez, looking for Gabriel Jesus. Business as usual for Chiche and Brazil then so far. So often able just to, it seems, win fairly comfortably without ever really getting out of second gear. That was certainly the case against Venezuela. And so far tonight, Brazil comfortable once more. Peru hoping they can turn the tables. Corso. Long diagonal in the direction of Cueva. It's dropped there to Carrillo. Cuts inside. Doesn't have too many options, has to go back the other way. 2 over on the Peruvian right. It's worked its way back into midfield. Delivery into the box, headed away by Thiago Silva. But Peru pick up the loose ball. No need to lose out again, and now Brazil can counter. It's a strong challenge by Christian Ramos. No space there to get through on the edge of the box. Peru battling away, trying to win possession. And then they leave the space open for the counter. Here's Neymar, a couple of step overs. Neymar still tries to thread it through for Gabriel Barbosa. And it's just about dealt with in the end by Luis Abraham. Cheap free kick given away. Just a little word from Patricio Lustau to Neymar and Yoshimar Yotun. That was the little battle in the opening couple of minutes that I said to keep an eye on. Yotun going to be the man tasked, it seems, with protecting that Peruvian back four. ball there for Aldo Corso down the right-hand side. Can't, on this occasion, beat Alexandro. It's going to go behind for a goal kick. Here's the goal again. Little deft touch there from Neymar, just always aware of the space. Worked out over to Everton. Cross into the box, it's headed up into the air. Gabriel Jesus does really well just to keep calm. Side foot that ball back across the 6-yard box. Absolutely nothing Pedro Galese can do about that one. Finds a little bit of space down the right, the cross comes in, only one in the box, and Edison comes and collects under pressure. Foul from Renato Tapia. Danilo works down the line towards Gabriel Jesus. He's forced backwards to Eder Militao, who combines with Fabinho. In the end, opts for safety, goes back to his goalkeeper. Midway through the first half, Brazil in front. It's another strong challenge on Neymar. And this time we're going to see our first yellow card. Cristian Ramos, who came through the back of Neymar on this occasion, and it's Cristian Ramos who enters Patricio Lustao's notebook first. It's a careless challenge from the centre-back. Stepping up out of defence, trying to apply some pressure on Neymar as he drops deep and looks to get on the ball. Overstepping the mark on that occasion. Eder Militao, Fabinho. Does well under pressure, just to recycle the ball, able to come again. Fabinho looks for the diagonal forward into the feet of Neymar. Neymar can turn, plays the ball with the outside of his foot, clipped towards the back post, and there's no messing around there from Marcos Lopez. He had Gabriel Jesus hovering with intent on his shoulder, and the young fullback just hammers it behind for a corner. Big night for Marcos Lopez, the 21-year-old. Question marks over some of the defending here. As Peru just wonder who's picking who up. Neymar to take. Headed away. The player stayed down in the 6-yard box. The shot comes in by Fabinho, just off target. So difficult for Pedro Galese in the Peru goal. A crowded penalty area. A player on the ground just in front of him. He would have seen that very, very late. Very relieved man to see Fabinho's shot whistle just wide of that far post. Still 1-0. Good job so far after 25 minutes of just picking up those loose balls. Nothing fancy in possession. But when you're in the defensive midfield position for Brazil, You've got all those players around you, you can afford to just keep things easy. Let the others do some of the more technical, tricky things. Peru wins the throw. Peru just trying to find some kind of foothold in this one. We can go on and on about the attacking talents of Brazil, but so far they're doing a very good job themselves of limiting Peru once they get into the Brazilian half. Andre Carrillo wins his side a corner on this occasion. Chance for Ramos and Abraham to get forward. Christian Cueva will take it. There it is, Ramos and Abraham in the penalty spot. Going in to attack this one. Hung up towards the back post, headed down. Well, there's a flag up anyway. Just for a moment there, it looked as though Brazil had stepped out a little bit too early. Space in the 6-yard box as it dropped. Promising sign perhaps for Peru. Instead it's Brazil again looking to come forward. Gabriel Barbosa this time loses possession. Nicely done by Carrillo, this time on the near side. The 30-year-old switching flanks during the opening half an hour here. His last goal coming against Brazil in World Cup qualification early on in the process in 2020. Brings it out from the back, floats the ball over onto that far side. Peru forced all the way back to Galese. Ramos feeds it into the midfield with Tapia, back to Ramos. It's a long ball looking for that run of Lapadula. Not going to get there ahead of Alexandro, the goal scorer, though. Sandro goes back to Ederson, who can clear. Yotun does well there in midfield just to hold off the challenge. And Peru can come forward again. Carrillo. Carrillo feeds it forward, gets the ball back. Carrillo with a bit of space. Decides not to shoot, works it out onto that far side for Aldo Corso. Corso crosses, headed away by Thiago Silva. And Corso will let this one run for a throw. It's much better from Peru, this. Corso throws the ball back. Also one of the two players in the lineup still playing his football in Peru. Featured in the Libertadores this year with Universitario. Carrillo again battling away with Gabriel Jesus. Good strength from Carrillo. Keeps the ball and it's worked back to Tapia. Tapia takes a shot on from distance. Bounces awkwardly in front of Ederson. Under little pressure. The Man City keeper allows an initial touch before gathering. Good little spell this though from the Blanquiroja. Ederson's long pass on this occasion. Slightly miscued, a little too heavy. Floats over the head of Gabriel Jesus. Peru can enjoy some further possession. Corso increasingly getting forward down that right for Peru. Yotun to Tapia. Ramos, Corso. Corso makes inroads again down the right. Tracked by Everton on this occasion. Forced to cut back. All the way back to Christian Ramos. Played forward into Carrillo. Carrillo under pressure from Danilo loses out, and Brazil immediately look to get the ball forward quickly. On this occasion, neither Neymar or Gabriel Barbosa can reach that one. Peru can come back again. Nice ball forward from Tapia into the feet of Cueva. Cueva spins away from one challenge and finds Corso. Looks for the return ball. Instead it goes back central to Carrillo. Carrillo, well, by hook or by crook, gets it to Corso. The cross comes in. Headed away to the edge of the box. Marcos Lopez goes back to Tapia. And here's Ramos. Occasion. It's Neymar that gives away the free kick. It's a good 5 or 10 minutes or so this from Peru though. Here's Abraham. That's a loose one from Marcos Lopez. He gives away the ball. Alexandro brings it forward. Calmly. Brazil with that cushion of the goal lead. Thiago Silva coming in off the back of that Champions League victory with Chelsea. Back in the lineup tonight, the veteran defender. Neymar has space, darts past one challenge, looks to go past another. Brazil still in the attack and still with Neymar. Neymar on the edge of the box, crowded out by two. Loses the ball and Peru can come forward again. Nicely done. No free kick given. Brazil look to come forward. Everton almost breaks into the penalty box. It's hacked away by Corso. And Neymar has stayed down, clutching his ankle. Another quick word here from Patricio Lustau. Sergio Peña won the ball cleanly enough. Challenges flying in left, right and centre. Fairly desperate stuff at times, but got the job done. Crowded out Neymar. And Brazil's number 10. Still sitting down, waking his way back onto his feet now. It's going to be fine to carry on. And this was just the little instant that saw Patricio Lustau having words with Christian Cueva. Not for the first time tonight. Neymar's ankle's getting a bit of attention. Brazil just pushed up a little bit here and putting a bit more pressure on Peru. Win the ball back high up the pitch and almost release Neymar into the box. They win the ball back again high up. Jesus almost finds Gabriel Barbosa. Brazil now enjoying a little spell of possession in the final third. Fabinho. Thiago Silva. Space here for Alexandro down the left. Bursts down, gets the cross in. Headed away by Christian Ramos. And Fred with a clever back heel. Creates space for another cross into the box. Once again, headed away. And Peru look to settle. there by Gabriel Barbosa. Renato Tapia just questioning Patricio Lustau there, hoping maybe for a little bit more than just a free kick. Lovely little nutmeg by Marcos Lopez. Draws the foul from Gabriel Barbosa. Less than 10 minutes remaining of the first half. Brazil lead 1-0. But it's been a decent reaction from Peru. Ricardo Gareca will be pleased with what he's seen. Abraham into Yotun. Ramos. Searching ball, looking for Carrillo, and Carrillo brings it down. The low cross in. Thiago Silva reads it, coolly brings it out. It's another little glimpse there of the danger. A better ball perhaps from Carrillo. Gabriel Jesus under pressure from 3, wins the free kick. Yotun not happy with that one. Yotun, Cueva and Lopez all crowding around Gabriel Jesus, hoping they can win the ball in the Brazilian half. Sandro, Everton. Quiet first half for large parts of this. Everton, almost the go-to man 2 years ago. His 3 goals, including in the final against Peru, vital to them winning their 9th Copa America. Brazil. Silva, Fabinho. Militao, Fabinho drops to get back on the ball again, tries to thread it through towards Neymar. It's cut out well by Renato Tapia. Peru can try and find a way forward once more. They have to go direct. Abdullah will chase this one. Edison will not be perturbed by the pressure and instead can feed the ball out. It's won back though by Christian Cueva. Comes forward to the edge of the box. There's a bit of space here. Could be a chance. Shot comes in. It's blocked by Danilo and behind for a corner. It's the first really clear opening for Peru. Worked into that space. And Yotun just opts for the little dink finish. Beats Edison. But Danilo's back to put his chest in the way. 5 minutes before the break, Peru corner. Headed up and onto the roof of the net. But further promise here for Peru. It's not been a comfortable 40 minutes so far for the champions. Peru asking questions, defending well. Just that one moment so far, finished off by Alexandro. Yotun. Cueva goes back to Luis Abraham. Tapia goes all the way back to Gillespie. Space here for Yotun. Carrillo. It's Corso. Yotun getting a bit further forward now. Nice little pass forward, slip through, almost another one. And once more, Peru into the box and with a corner. Just trying to find those little threaded passes into the Brazilian penalty area. So far, Gianluca Lapadula hasn't had a lot to go on. He can attack this corner perhaps. Swung in, headed away at the near post by Gabriel Jesus. Attempted to be hit back in first time, but instead it's going to drop to Gabriel Barbosa. And with a better touch, Gabigol could have sent Brazil on a counter. Instead, Peru can recover and go back to the keeper and start again. Fabinho. Neymar. Can't get away from Renato Tapia. But Tapia caught in possession on this occasion. Here comes Gabriel Barbosa. Worked out to Everton. Everton up against Aldo Corso. Forced inside. Crosses towards the back post. Headed away. Danilo wins it. And Marcos Lopez can clear, but only as far as Danilo. Danilo under pressure from Carrillo. Loses out, but Fabinho's there once again to mop up. And Fabinho protects Brazil there from the counter once more. Thiago Silva. Neymar. Always is the pass out from the defence. Neymar as he drops deep, and almost always then when he looks to keep the ball for more than a moment on the end of one of those little challenges. It's Yoshi Yotun again. That's wayward by Fred. Cut out and Peru can come forward. There's not too many options ahead, just Lapadula. They have to be a bit more patient, but here they come forward now. Disguise on that one into the penalty area. Cueva can't quite bring it under control. There's some nice moments of invention. There's going to be a yellow card finally for Yoshima Yotun. On this occasion, Neymar's not the recipient, it's Gabriel Jesus. But Yotun goes in the book. Not for the first time, a little bit late. Yotun coming into the tournament, having helped Cruz Azul win the title in Mexico. And if you know Cruz Azul's recent history, then winning a title, no mean feat. Yotun central to that. This time the ball's won fairly. Fred can pick it up for Brazil. Gabriel Jesus. Nice little drop of the shoulder. Looks to get away from Marcos Lopez, who comes in with a good tackle. It's been a good first half for Marcos Lopez on the whole. Space here for Neymar again. Again, though, as soon as he gets it, two men on him, he manages to wriggle away from that position. There's a shot here, maybe. Chance comes in, it's over the crossbar. Well, it just opened up again for Alexandro. Neymar manages to wriggle away from two challenges, then find the fullback on the edge of the box. Thought about laying one more off for Everton, but it did just open up right on the edge of the box for Sandro, and he couldn't keep his shot down. Just the 1 minute added here in Rio. Brazil 1, Peru 0. But a decent opening half in which Peru have certainly been given some encouragement. Offside flag there against Neymar, and Gabriel Jesus has kicked the ball away. Peru hoping. Patricio Lustau looks on that harshly. The referee clearly saying, come on, let's get on with things. Silva steps across to cut that one out. And that will be the last action of the half. And we're back underway. Brazil get us underway. Now going right to left with that slender one-goal lead, courtesy of Alexandro's goal. Well, Gabriel Barbosa being replaced by Richarlison. So switching back to how things started against Venezuela in the first game. And here's an early touch for Richarlison. On the left, Richarlison crosses on his right foot, headed away at the near post. The other change, Everton, out for Everton, Ribeiro. It's Neymar. Richarlison had a couple of good opportunities against Venezuela that he didn't take before being replaced. The Everton man, given that competition and the open nature of exactly who's going to seize the position up top, will be hoping that he can take advantage. There's the other substitute, Everton Ribeiro, came on at half-time against Venezuela and showed some nice touches over on that right-hand side. Played a key role in the penalty that Danilo won. No changes at the break for Peru. Marcos Lopez there. Left back. This man, Yotun, on a yellow card now. A few sendings off in his career, including one by Patricio Lustau, the referee here this evening a few years back against Uruguay. Needs to be a little bit careful in the second half. Certainly racked up the fouls during the first 45 minutes. Free kick then for Peru, chance for a set piece. Edison organising his defence just outside the penalty box. It's swung in, headed away on the edge. And Peru can come forward again. Yotun finds Carrillo. Back to Yotun and back into Carrillo. A little bit of space, but forced backwards. Brazil with everyone still back for that free kick, congesting the central area. Luis Abram switches it into space. Here's Aldo Corso. His pass intercepted by Fred. And it's well played by the Manchester United midfielder to find Fabinho. Fabinho lofts this one in the direction of Richarlison. The Merseyside connection. Richarlison brings it down. He's got Christian Ramos with him. Goes back to Fred on the edge. He's worked nicely this to Everton Ribeiro. Richarlison in space again. He's going to look to come into that right foot. Does get the shot away, and it's deflected behind for a corner. A lively start then from Richarlison. Richarlison just drifting out onto this near side. In truth, Everton wasn't particularly involved during the first 45 minutes, so no real surprise to see Chichi make those changes. I think as much as anything what we've seen from Brazil so far in this Copa is just a willingness to rotate, keep people fresh. Corner comes in, it's well claimed by Galese. dribbles the ball out. Yotun fires it across field, finds Carrillo in space. Well defended by Fred. Stands up Carrillo, times the tackle, wins a throw. Neymar looks for the ball in behind. It's well defended by Cristian Ramos, who's had a good game so far. The veteran defender, now playing his football, of course, with Universidad Cesar Vallejo. A fine career with his debut coming all the way back in 2009. 76th appearance, Cristian Ramos, at a time when many people may still question his starting place in this side, but so far certainly answered his critics. Neymar. Yotun on this occasion comes away with the ball fairly and tries to do a little backfield down the line in the direction of Tapia. Thiago Silva, Fabinho. Never in a rush, Fabinho. Always aware of exactly where everyone is on the pitch, and if necessary, just keeps things ticking over as he did there. Militao looking for options going forward, finds Everton Ribeiro. This nice little layoff to Gabriel Jesus. Space here, breaking towards the edge of the box. The shot comes in. Well, it was a wonderful burst forward. Brazil just suddenly up through the gears, opens up the space for Danilo and flashes a shot just wide. Well, they looked as though they were just going to stroke the ball around patiently, and then in a space of a couple of touches really opened up Peru. Just in case Peru were getting complacent, little flash of quality from the champions. Marcos Lopez goes back to Luis Abraham. Cueva. Here's Marcos Lopez getting forward down that left-hand side, forced to check. Yotun just goes to float one in behind in the direction of Lapadula again, asking a lot of the number 9. Chasing Eder Militao, who was able to watch the ball out, but has then grabbed his arm in what looks like significant pain. Can't really see what happened there. Well, still very difficult to see exactly what happened. Just that has jarred his elbow. Still off the pitch, Eder Militao, as he just makes his way back on now at the top of your screen. Peru so far doing a decent job of stopping that man, Neymar. Created a lot of chances, Neymar, against Venezuela. Hasn't enjoyed quite the same amount of space today, and Peru win that one high up the pitch. Here's Carrillo. Finds Corso. Corso looking to get a cross in, does so. It's a comfortable one for Ederson. Rare occasion where Peru have been able to get to the byline and find a cross. At times the problem when they get into that position is the fact that it's only really Gianluca Lapadula in the 6-yard box, looking like he could get on the end of a cross. Could be a question if it stays 1-0 for much longer of whether or not Ricardo Gareca looks to his bench and thinks maybe we should try and go for this. Iberico, Valera, or Menyo, all possible attacking options that he could bring on. Sacrifice one of the midfield players at the risk, of course, of leaving that space in midfield. But maybe a risk worth taking if it stays 1-0. Neymar just drops it off there for Fred, who breaks away from one challenge, looks for the ball inside, it's cleared away. Alexandro picks up the loose ball. Thiago Silva now. Neymar again comes short, looking for it, round the corner, into the feet of Everton Ribeiro, and Fred can pick it up. Worked onto that right-hand side. Gabriel Jesus tries to find one into the back post. It drifts over the top of Richarlison, and Richarlison goes to ground looking for a free kick. He's told to get to his feet. Almost straight away by Patricio Lustau. And I think Richarlison's just realised he's not going to be getting anything here. It was Sergio Peña back there defending. Just eased his arm across. Patricio Lustau maybe just getting a few words in his ear as he wants to check with the VAR officials, but I think pretty clear. You can see there saying absolutely nothing. Play on. Fabinho looked to skip away there. Renato Tapia was in his way, but Fabinho again gobbles up the loose ball and sets Danilo off again. Everton Ribeiro back to Fabinho. Neymar looks for the turn, and it's just going to be a little bit too far, and headed back to Pedro Glese, who immediately fires Peru onto the attack. Lapadula again, 1 against 2. He's got a really difficult task this evening. Not another white shirt within 20, 30 yards of Gianluca Lapadula, and it's just making it relatively comfortable for Eder Militao and Thiago Silva. Militao looks to stride out, has second thoughts and goes backwards. Fred now bursting through from midfield. He's going to win himself a free kick here. It was Yoshima Yotun again, who, as I said at half-time, does need to be a little bit careful. Nothing malicious during the first half from Yotun really, but gave away a number of free kicks, and just the accumulative number of those saw him go into the book eventually. Maybe that could come into the thinking of Ricardo Gareca as he thinks about changes as we approach the hour mark here in Rio de Janeiro. Free kick for Brazil. Neymar standing over. He's got options on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's a low one, but it still manages to find its way to the back post. Fabinho lofted into the air, and it's headed away. And it's a free kick given away. Gabriel Jesus. And there's a first yellow card for Brazil. Gabriel Jesus. And you can see exactly what the Man City forward is telling Patricio Lustau. It's his first one. It certainly halted any promise of a counter there for Peru. Ricardo Gareca with his companions there in deep thought, and Neymar skips away from the challenge. Neymar still going into the penalty box, being shepherded away and goes down. It's a penalty. It's a penalty to Brazil. Neymar once again at the centre of it. Careless defending. Looked as though Peru had done everything right. Renato Tapia is just shepherding Neymar away from danger. He's not going anywhere. A little touch, that's all it needed for Neymar to go down. Patricio Lustau straight to the spot. And for the second game running, Neymar can double Brazil's advantage from the penalty spot. Peru still questioning the decision. And we will have, of course, a VAR check. Very much down to how they interpret this one. Neymar looking all the time for that touch. And as soon as he felt any kind of pressure from Renato Tapia, he was going down. But there was contact. And I don't think the VAR officials are going to offer any reprieve. Well, Patricio Lustau is going to go and take a closer look at this. We'll be able to take another closer look as well on the replay, just to see exactly who instigated the contact. Well, on closer inspection, contact in fact may just come as Neymar's already going to ground, flicks his leg up. There. Not sure the arms are enough to push Neymar to ground either. And I think on reflection with those replays, Patricio Lustau may think otherwise. A nervy couple of moments for Peru. If it stands and Neymar can double the lead, it may be all over for this evening. If it doesn't, it's very much game on here in Rio de Janeiro. Patricio Lustau still looking over and over again at the replays. From every possible angle. But really, the only meaningful contact with the legs is right here, when Neymar is very much already going to ground. Well, I think it'll be a harsh one if it's given. There's a slight arm across the shoulder from Tapia, but that in itself surely not enough either. And the penalty is reversed. Neymar will not be doubling the lead from the penalty spot, and Peru survived. The correct decision in the end. Took its time, but I think Patricio Lustau gets that one right. It's now Neymar's turn to have a word with the officials, but can't accuse them of not having a good look at that one. A long delay. Every possible angle of every possible bit of contact. And in the end, nothing given. It remains then Brazil 1, Peru 0. Works the ball back to his goalkeeper. Relieved man that he didn't just give away a penalty there, but Brazil straight back on the front foot. Here's Richarlison. Richarlison looks for Fred on that overlap, and Fred just about, well, thinks he just about kept it in to win a corner. Goes out for a goal kick in the end. "25 minutes of normal time remaining." We will have a healthy amount of stoppage time, given that VAR delay and the substitutes that will no doubt follow. And as long as it remains 1-0, with how Peru have approached this one, it's very much alive. Tapia, the long switch over, looking for Aldo Corso. Can't find him. And Fred tries to work it into the path of Richarlison. Can't set away the Everton man, and instead Peru come forward again. Aldo Corso wins the throw. And we're going to have some changes. 66 minutes on the clock, and it's a double change from Peru. Luis Iberico and Alex Ferreira making their way in. Sergio Peña and Gianluca Lapadula making their way off. No real surprise with the changes. Peña struggled to be involved. Lapadula also, through no real fault of his own. This little reshuffle then, with Ferreira and Iberico on the pitch, could just give that Brazilian defence a little more to think about. For the time being, they've got some defending to do. Brazil break forward. Here's Gabriel Jesus. Lays it off to Fred. Fred tries to thread it into Neymar, finds him on the edge of the box. Neymar gets the shot away. Now Neymar's got his goal. It's wonderfully taken from the Paris Saint-Germain man. And Brazil do lead 2-0. And it is indeed Neymar. Denied his penalty, thanks to VAR, but Christian Ramos just stands off Neymar, allows him to turn, and the finish is unerring. Drilled low, hard. Pedro Galese can't get down to it quick enough. And Brazil lead Peru by 2-0. Goal number 68 now in a Brazil shirt for Neymar. And with every passing game, he just takes that little step closer to the great Pele's record. Remarkable record as well for Neymar under Chiche. This, the 35th match since Chiche took over. And Neymar now with 22 goals, 20 assists in that time as well. Peru looking for an instant response. Iberico loses out. Peru come forward again, and once again Fabinho's there to clean up for Brazil. 20 minutes remaining then. As I said, when it stayed at 1-0, it was very much open. At 2, you sense that it could be curtains for Peru. In their opening game of this 2021 Copa America. It'll only be the second time in the last 11 tournaments they've lost on the opening day. Richarlison with the format of this year's tournament, of course, means defeat to Brazil in Group B certainly doesn't mean at all that Peru are on their way out or have plenty to do. 4 games for them remaining, and 4 teams of the 5 going through to the quarterfinals, so plenty of opportunities still for the Blanca Roja. Despite trailing here 2-0 to the best team in South America, there's been enough to suggest that Peru can still cause problems to most of the other teams in this competition, in truth. Neymar wins a free kick and then looks to win a yellow card off Cristian Ramos, just kicks the ball against him. But in the meantime, we're going to have another change. Roberto Firmino is going to replace Gabriel Jesus. Firmino didn't feature against Venezuela. So it's his first taste of action in the Copa America this year. Neymar just dropping off again and now bursting into the Peru half. Still Neymar. Good opening here. Richarlison forces the save. And it opened up for Brazil there. Just Neymar quickly accelerating away in midfield. And then creating that numerical advantage. The space there for Richarlison. In the end, it was a relatively comfortable save for Pedro Galese. Could have easily been a 3rd goal. Here it is again. Neymar just breaking towards the edge of the box, feeding Richarlison, and it's not the cleanest to strike, just bobbles a little bit. Takes any of the power off the shot. Galese is able to make that save. No one there to turn in the rebound. And it would be very harsh on Peru if Brazil were to run away with this one. Another couple of changes then for Peru. Christian Cueva making his way off. And so too Yoshi Yotun. No real surprise with Yotun on a yellow card. Was always something to keep an eye out for. But keep an eye on this young man, Martin Tavera, who's just coming on. 22 years of age, still at Sporting Cristal in Peru, but really lovely midfield player. Wonderful passer of the ball. Caught in possession immediately there though. Shot from distance, and Neymar on this occasion, shot goes just wide of the post. Alexis Arias, the other man to come in for Peru, midfielder from Melgar. This occasion, Neymar just dragging that one wide of the post on his left foot in this occasion. Final 15 minutes of normal time here in Rio de Janeiro. It's going to be 2 wins from 2, unless we have a truly extraordinary finish to this one. And just as it was against Venezuela, Brazil able just to keep their opponents at arm's length for much of this one. And then just have enough quality to see it out. Neymar always offering that pass out, and Everton Ribeiro breaks through. Ramos makes the tackle while on the ground. It's all getting a little bit ragged now, all those substitutions in the second half. Of course, maybe not helping the fluency of the game. But Brazil won't mind one jot. All they'd have cared about this evening, making it 2 wins from 2, virtually already stamping their place into the quarterfinals, and marching on towards a potential 10th Copa America. Plenty of time, of course, between now and that potential outcome, but there's no question who this year's favourites are. Another change for Brazil, and it's a reverse from what we saw in the first game. Renan Lodge coming on at left back for Alex Sandro. Sandro, scorer of the opening goal this evening, replaced for the final 15 minutes by Renan Lodge, who plays his football at Atletico Madrid after moving there from Atletico Paranaense. Celebrating, of course, the Liga title with Atleti this season. What a couple of months it could be for Renan Lodge, if he can add a Copa America to that as well. Got a bit of defending to do straight away, and does well to see Andre Carrillo out. Well, it's a handball, in fact, against Renan Lodge. It's going to be a free kick to Brazil. To Peru, sorry. Close to this near touchline. It's gone all the way through to the back post, and somehow it's been blazed over the top. What a chance for Alex Valera. There's a little bit of a scramble, and Valera didn't have much time to react, but surely from just a few yards out, has to be able to find the net there. They haven't created many clear openings, but they won't create anything clearer than that. The substitute Valera volleying over from just a couple of yards out. Brazil's clean sheet still intact, but it really shouldn't be. Alex Valera on his debut should have just marked it with a memorable goal away to Brazil. And instead, I imagine he'll be seeing that moment when he's in his bed tonight. Everton Ribeiro comes forward at the other end. Little outside of the foot pass, it's defended well. Only as far as Fabinho delivers it first time. Headed away by Aldo Corso. And there's a little trip there. Little trip on Renan Lodge. And it's going to be a free kick to Brazil. 30 yards or so from goal. And it's Neymar who immediately runs over and snatches the ball. It's a long way from goal. regardless of the distance, Pedro Gallese has to take care here with the quality that Neymar possesses. It's just a three-man wall. Neymar to take, goes for goal, bends it up over the wall, but it's comfortable for Gallese. Ten minutes remain then. Brazil lead by 2-0. And win the ball, well, looked as though they'd won the ball cleanly enough. Roberto Firmino it was who stuck the foot in. And Marcos Lopez maybe a little bit fortunate there to win the free kick. Looked as though he was just caught in possession. Another nice little flick from Neymar. Fred just behind the run of Fernandlogi. Carrillo. Once more, Peru caught in possession. This time it's Tapia, and Neymar goes for the little nutmeg, finds it. All the tricks are coming out now. Neymar still going. He's into the penalty box. Quick feet from Neymar, and again, this time just outside the box, but eventually brought down. It's Martin Tavera. Well, Aldo Corso trying to prevent Patricio Lustau from getting to Tavera, but he's not going to be able to stop that. It's a yellow card in the end. Neymar enjoying himself in the final few minutes, and somewhat annoying Peru, I think, and that's what ultimately drew the foul. Martin Tavera had seen enough. And eventually the challenge comes in. 22-year-old into the book then. And another free kick for Neymar. This one a little bit closer, but a little bit more to the left-hand side as well. Suits the right footer though. Neymar and Fred scheming. Little two-man wall of Fabinho and Everton Ribeiro stand close to the four-man wall of Peru. Just blocking Pedro Gallese a little bit more. But it will be Neymar. Neymar. Just off target. The little two-man wall of Fabinho and Everton Ribeiro. Just trying to block the vision of Pedro Gallese on that side of the goal, and Neymar just not quite finding enough whip. Goes wide of the far post. Danilo making his way off. Change it right back for Brazil. Emerson gets his first Copa America action. Will be at Barcelona for the coming season, Emerson, after a terrific campaign with Real Betis. And the right back's going to get 6 minutes here in Rio de Janeiro. Fred. Here's Fernandlogi. Back to Fred. And into Fabinho. Substitute, Emerson. It's well done by Eder Militao. Just puts on the afterburners and goes down that right-hand side. Everton Ribeiro. Trying to skip away, does so well, finds Roberto Firmino, and Fabinho tries to find the ball into the box, and for a moment, Aldo Corso almost coughs it straight up to Neymar. Ricochets off Brazil's number 10 and into the grateful arms of Pedro Galese. Richarlison. Peru certainly look as though they've run out of steam a little bit in the second half. The second goal just taking the wind out of their sails, and Brazil looking the more likely to add a potential third goal to this game. Across from Neymar, flicked up towards the back post, and Emerson will pick it up. Back to Fabinho. Everton Ribeiro coming inside off that Brazil right. Good ball into the box and just out of the reach of Neymar. Good attempt by the Flamengo forward. Everton Ribeiro just spotted that run of Neymar. Just a fraction too much on it. There's been another nice little cameo from Everton Ribeiro, the 32-year-old Flamengo man. Placed Lucas Paquetá against Venezuela and again showed some nice little touches. Just see everyone in this Brazil squad vying for competition. They break forward here. Here's Fred. It's going to release Richarlison. Richarlison squares the ball. It's going to be number 3, surely. Great save. Pedro Galese denies Roberto Firmino. The danger's not quite away yet. Neymar clips it to the edge of the box. Fabinho can't get it down, and eventually it's hacked away by Aldo Corso. So close to number 3. Emerson wins a free kick on the far side. Well, here's that chance again. Just wonderful break forward. Fred charges through from the midfield, lays it into Richarlison, squares the ball, and really you'd bank on Bobby Firmino being able to just tap that one in. Little too close to Pedro Galese. Gives the Orlando City goalkeeper the opportunity to make that recovery save. And Galese did so wonderfully. Keeps the score at 2-0. It's not going to have an impact on the outcome of this game. Neymar floats that one in towards Emerson. It's well cut out. And Peru can clear. Only as far as Eder Militao. Brazil's substitutes certainly seem hungry when they come onto the pitch to make an impact. We saw it in the first game. We've seen it again here this evening as well. And if there were any question marks over perhaps mentality going into this tournament with the players, Casemiro coming out during those World Cup qualifiers, the players were against the tournament taking place here in Brazil. The number of games that they're then being asked to play as well on the back of a week of World Cup qualification. They've certainly answered some of those questions in the opening 2 games. Here's Neymar again breaking forward. Again Richarlison in space. Again Richarlison crosses, and this time the ball is turned home. Everton Ribeiro makes it 3. Everton Ribeiro does what Roberto Firmino couldn't do moments earlier. Richarlison, the provider. Peru cut wide open. It's a wonderful little passage of play. Little flick from Everton Ribeiro into Neymar. Neymar into Richarlison. And Richarlison low cross again. Straight across the 6-yard box. This time cannot be missed. 3-0 5 days ago against Venezuela. 3-0 here tonight against Peru. And the champions are looking as formidable as ever. It's the first goal for the national team for Everton Ribeiro. A simple one. And one that maybe in the balance of play is harsh on Peru, who for long periods of this game had really given a go of things, made life difficult. The second half has got away from them. Run out of steam. And it's been Brazil in this last passage of the game that have been able to express themselves and enjoy themselves with that 2-goal cushion. And the third goal had certainly been coming. We're already a minute into 6 added minutes. Remember, we had that fairly lengthy delay for the penalty decision that was overturned, and for a moment looked as though it could have given a lifeline to Peru. At that stage it was still 1-0. Moments later, Neymar made certain anyway with a wonderfully taken goal. And ever since that moment, the contest has really been over. Will be opening match defeat for Peru, something they're not used to in recent years. However, no reason to panic for the Blanquirroja. 4 of the 5 teams progress. And it's something that Peru have done a lot of in recent years, get through the group stage. Since the 1995 edition of the Copa America, in which they went out in the group phase and they didn't win a game. Since then, the 9 tournaments that have followed, they've always progressed to the next round. 5 quarter-final appearances, 3 semi-final appearances, and 1 final appearance. It could be 4. It's going to be 4. No, it's a block on the line, but no, it's turned in. Richarlison gets his goal at the second time of asking. And it is a little harsh on Peru, this. They find themselves 4-0 down. Richarlison with the celebrations in stoppage time. All smiles for Brazil. It's the 7th goal of this year's Copa America already. It's that pass from Neymar that creates it. It's a good block initially to deny Richarlison. The ball falls kindly for him again. And he's able to, from the ground, make it 4-0. The task has just proved a little too much for Peru ultimately. Roberto Firmino, another good chance for him off the bench, initially saved. And Richarlison with 2 bites at the cherry, able to finally get his goal. Missed a couple of good chances against Venezuela in the first game, and will be very pleased to get his account up and running. A team on the kind of run that Brazil are in. Don't need any kind of confidence lift, really. But will do the likes of Richarlison the world of good, just to put some of those misses behind him, get himself a goal. And they move on. A little bit of time to rest now, Brazil, because the next game's in Group B. Will be between Venezuela and Ecuador, and Colombia against Peru. That will be on Sunday. And Brazil therefore can wait until next Wednesday for their next game against Colombia, here again at the Estadio Olímpico Nilton Santos. 1 minute remain here, and Brazil have another free kick in a similar position to the two previous that Neymar's taken. One that was comfortably saved, one that went just past the far post, and Neymar, the third time of asking. Neymar again, and this time over the crossbar. Well, he looks to the heavens, but it's been another impactful game for Neymar. Another goal and another Brazil win in which he's been at the centre. All smiles before kickoff, and nothing to change the mood in the Brazil camp so far in this Copa America. Neymar gives chase under that one. We've almost had our 6 minutes of added time. And Patricio Lustau brings us to an end here in Rio de Janeiro. It ends Brazil 4, Peru 0. 2 wins from 2 for the defending champions. And further evidence of Brazil being the team to beat here in the Copa America. Peru put up a good fight for a long period of this one. But as soon as Neymar rifled in that second, the contest was over, and Chiche's side ran riot, adding another couple to make this more comfortable than it maybe was over much of the 90 minutes. An opening day defeat for Peru, who can come back again. There's plenty there to take positives from for Ricardo Gareca. Peru play Colombia in their next game, another difficult game. Colombia on 4 points already, but Peru will feel there's enough in this team that they can still progress from the group.